Arizona, homeowner's best friend.
I think it's amazing. I also remember another one of our produce farmers saying it's not fast food, I agree, but one of his favorite crops to grow was your leafy greens or certainly your lettuce, because you can have a crop from the planting to the harvest in 60 to 90 days. Am I right on that?
Yeah, some of the early stuff that we're planting in September when it's really warm out, that lettuce will make in 55 to 60 days. And so that's pretty fast. But the stuff we plant in November, late November to harvest in the spring, that's about 100 days. So, it's challenging growing things through the winter. You have to hustle and hurry a lot more the last week in September, the first couple weeks of October, because every 2 days you're planting a week's worth of harvest. So it's there's lots of nuances to it, but we've got it figured out pretty good. And normally the weather doesn't throw us curveballs. But you're right, Julie, all those other things are essential. The workforce, water, the soils, all that stuff.
The infrastructure. And, throwing out some of our statistics, this one's a little bit dated. I actually need an update from my U of A economic team. But leafy greens farming just in Yuma, the last time I had a statistic on this was $2 billion. I'm told that's higher. That's the impact on Arizona each year. So economically, and we have to report, I think this is the first time I've been able to say it here, or maybe it was the last show. We are now an economic contributor of nearly $31 billion, and that's billion dollars here in just the state of Arizona.
I remember your first time we had you on, there's an infographic that's a pie chart, and it shows, the slice of the pie divided up by 16. Agriculture, whether cattle, dairy, grains, lettuce, leafy greens. That was 19 million. Then about 10 years ago, it got updated to 23 billion.
Right.
And now we're saying 31 billion.
Right. And that's been done by the U of A. I'm giving the University of Arizona all the credit for that because they really crunched the numbers on this.
And you say that's just cash receipts. What does that mean?
Well, okay, so I know this gets kind of confusing. So my pie chart that I share with everyone, that's just the top 16 crops. So it's not representing anything. And then it's the annual cash receipts that the USDA does. But the big number, that 31 billion, that's a result of the Census of Agriculture that's done every 5 years. And so, but in combination, in the aggregate, now that we've received the latest numbers from the Census of Agriculture, and that was the baseline data point for the U of A economic team for being able to assess that today, the whole agribusiness supply chain just in the state of Arizona is nearly $31 billion. It's a pretty exciting number.
Rosie on the house, every Arizona homeowner's best friend.